We're going to reference your warm-up activity throughout our notes, okay? But what we're going to do is we are going to work with fractions for the foreseeable future, for the next week, okay? So let's just get some basics down. If I'm looking at this fraction right here, what do we call this number 7? I think you said numerator, but I heard a bunch of mumbles. Okay. What about 8? What is that? Denominator. Okay. Hands to yourself, please. Now, numerator and denominator. What does 7 over 8 mean?
7 over 8.
Okay. What about like in fractions? Like.
There's 7 8s and all that. There's 7.
So what would be the whole? 8 is the whole, and 7 is the part of the whole. So like 7/8 of a pizza means there are 7 pieces of a pizza that would have 8 pieces. Right? Has anyone ever had 7/8 of a pizza in one sitting? My children can eat
my nephew has.
a whole pizza.
Okay.
Okay.
Eats 2 more pieces.
So
You talking about me?
why did you guys erase?
Oh. We did it.
Please don't. Okay. In these first 2 problems, I see that you simplified number 1 to 5/9 and number 2 to 3/5. Why did you simplify? Because that's what I asked you to do, okay? How did you know that it wasn't simple already? How did you know it wasn't simple already? Yeah. Okay, she knew that a number could go into both of them. Okay, with what operation? Okay, so she divided both numerator and denominator. Okay, so we are in simplest form when the numerator and denominator man, I can't spell, guys. I'm sorry. Have no common factors is what we're going to say. Okay? No common factors. That means that they both don't have the same number that can divide into them. So in your example on the board of 25 over 45, you knew that both of those numbers were multiples of 5. They had a factor of 5. So when we divide out 5, we're left with 5 over 9. Okay? That is what you did. Okay? Divide it. We divide the number they both have in common. Divide both by the same number. You divide the number to get the other number. Okay, so we're all on the same page. What number do they have in common? Divide that out. Okay, so let's look at number 1, 8 over 20. Is that fraction simple? It is not, because 8 and 20 both have a common factor. Josie, what's our common factor? 4. Okay, was anybody else thinking a different one? What were you thinking?
2.
Okay, you were thinking 2. Okay, so let's do this. Let's say Ellie started with 2. Okay, and Josie starts with 4. You do 4. We're going to do 2. What happens when we divide 8 by 2? We get 4, right? Matthew, what happens when we take 20 divided by 2? Huh? 10. 4 over 10. Is that simple?
Yes, ma'am.
4 over 10? Do they have any common factors? 4 and 10 are both what kind of numbers? They're even. If two numbers are even, then they're both divisible by 2. So we're going to divide by 2 again. And Amari said 2 and 5. Do you have a question? Yeah. Now, Jacob Tanner and Josie, they started with 4. What answer did you get? 2 over 5. Okay? So it's okay if you and your neighbor start at different places. Okay? How many times did you have to do division, Josie? Only 1 time. We had to do it 2 times. Sometimes we're going to get the biggest number right away to divide out. Sometimes we may not see it until we have to do it a couple times. Either way, it's fine. Okay? Just make sure you keep going until it's simplified. So let's look at number 2. We have negative 6 over 18. Think about if this is simple or not. Okay, I'm seeing some no's. So what number can 2? I hear 2 and I hear 3 and I hear 6. Okay? So that tells me that we can get to the same answer in a couple different ways. Okay? I did hear that we had a 6 though. Did you hear that? Okay, if we divide by 6, what's 6 divided by 6? And what's 18 divided by 6? 3. Is that my answer? What did I forget? Make sure you keep the negative with. So negative 1/3. Probably 0.7. All right, let's look at number 3. Excuse me. Don't know what happened to my voice there. 21 over 27. Is that simple? No. What number can go into both?
7.
I heard 3.
7.
What? If that was 28, that would be cool. Okay? But I think 3 is going to be our answer. If we divide both numbers by 3, what's our numerator become? 7. What about our denominator? 7 over 9. Is that simple? Yeah. 7 is a prime number. What does that mean?
Alpha.
Its only factors are 1 and itself. Okay? 7 is 1 times 7. That's it. Okay? All right. I think some of you are catching on. I want you to do numbers 4, 5, and 6 and check in with your neighbor to see if you agree.
Cheater.
It's totally fine. You talk to your neighbor about it. What number are you going to divide those by? I think that's a good start. That's a good start. Okay, so which one are you looking at?
4.
Okay, so when you look at those numbers, is there one number that can divide into both of them?
22.
What's, so like divide, like I know that 24 divided by 2 is 12, or let's, okay, 2. So we can divide both of those by 2, right? Do it.
That's right. This one. 2 over 7.
I can't even read that.
It's 2 over 7. Negative 2 over 7.
Okay.
No, got this one.
Okay, so what did you get?
12 and 20.
Okay. All right, is there a number that can divide into both of those the same? Okay, so do that again. Okay, are you done? Okay. You gotta do 2 again, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know what number you're going to divide by?
Stop attacking me.
What are things that multiply to get 36? But I don't think 6 divides into 45. So what's a different number that divides into 36? What about 9? That's old number. All right, let's look at number 4. Okay. Temperance, what number did you divide out in number 4? Huh? 4? Okay, so if we divide by 4, we would get 6 over 10. Is that reduced? No, these are still even numbers, so we would have to divide by 2 to get -3 over 5 should be our answer there. Okay. All right. In number 5, what number do we need to divide by? We can divide by 6 to get -2 over 7. Now, if you divided by 2 because you knew they were both even numbers, you then would have had to divide by 3 to get to the final answer. Okay. All right, and then number 6, what do we got to divide by? We can divide by 9 to get 4 over 5. Okay. All right. Man, this is going fast. Okay. Let's talk about improper form and mixed numbers. Improper form, what does that mean? What's true about the numerator? Numerator is bigger than the denominator. Okay. Now, if we have an improper fraction, we can change it to a mixed number where we have an integer and a proper fraction. Okay, so you guys did some work in numbers 4, 5, and 7, and 8 involving improper fractions and mixed numbers. Okay, so let's talk first about what you did with 8 over 3. 8 over 3 you changed to 2 2/3. So like 8 over 3 is our improper fraction. 2 2/3 is our mixed number. Okay? You see how many times the denominator can go into the numerator. Divide the top number by the bottom number. Okay, I like that. You see how many times the denominator can go into the numerator. So let's talk about 19 and 6. How many times does 6 go into 19? 2 times. What is 6 times 2? 12. Okay, so let's try that again. How many times can 6 go into 19? 3. What's 6 times 3? 18. So how many are left? There's 1 left. Okay? So our answer is 3 1/6. Now this is what I like to do too. 19 divided by 6. 6 goes into 19 3 times, and we have a remainder of 1. So here's our whole. Here's our integer, 6, or 3, and 1/6. So there's the 1, and then our denominator of 6. Okay. Let's try number 11. 3 goes into 26 how many times? Count them out. How many times? 8. What's 8 times 3? 24. So we have 2 left over. So we have -8 and 2/3. -8 and 2/3. You guys did a really good job on your marker boards to get there. Okay. Now what if I wanted to go the other way? What if I had this? How do I get back to 26 over 3? What do you do, Kaylee?
I was going to ask what number 10 was.
Number 10 was 3 1/6.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Oh.
Okay. So how do I go from 2 2/3 to 8/3? What's our... Keep the bottom number, multiply the bottom and left, and add the top. Let's try that. Keep the bottom number. What's our bottom number? 3. Multiply the bottom and left and add the top. So what does that give us? 2 times 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay? So let's come down here to number 16. What you're going to do, you're going to take the denominator and the integer, and we're multiplying. What's 3 times 5? Huh? 15, and then we're going to add this number, which gives us, so we have 16 over 5. In number 17, we're going to take 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. And then when we add 2, we get 23 over 3. Try number 20 for me. You're doing number 20. Oh, sorry. Elaine, what'd you get? -31 over 7. Jacob, tell us how we got 31.
I multiplied 7 and 4 and then added the 3.
4 times 7 is 28, plus 3 gives us 31.
Oh,
Okay? Could you please turn the page? My plan was to give you all of page 13, but since we're doing fractions, how about you just worry about the top half? So only numbers 1 to 15, and then you can stop. Okay, so just the top half that's in that big box.